Hello everyone, this is Ronnie. A very quick video on backup plans on a raw vegan diet. So obviously the world isn't really set up that well if you want to eat a raw vegan diet absolutely everywhere. You're not always going to be able to get the number one thing you want. So what are your backup plans, or how can you prepare for those situations? So first off, I want to say that I don't think there's actually that many situations in which you need a backup plan. If you go anywhere in the world, as far as I've travelled, and I've not been everywhere, but there's always fruits and vegetables available. And people seem to think that they'd be less available in colder climates like further north where I am, but that's not really true. There's fruits and vegetables everywhere now, and maybe in some really poor countries there's not as much, but even in poor countries, fruits and vegetables are very cheap to grow, so it wouldn't really make sense that there isn't any available. There used to be people that told me, "What would you say to someone living in Africa or all this?" And I can't imagine that they don't have fruit in Africa. It would grow so easily, and it'd be so cheap to grow that I can't imagine there's not fruit everywhere, really. So the first off is really there's always fruit, and you can always prepare as well. Most places will let you bring your own fruit. If you're going on a plane, you can bring your own food. If you are going into obviously going into someone's house or going into a dinner party, you could bring your own stuff. It's maybe a bit weird, but you could. Going into a restaurant, a bit different. They probably don't want you to bring your own food. But most situations, your workplace, obviously your home, the city you live in, when you go to the gym or whatever, most places you can bring your own food or have something with you, and there's other options as well. But if you are for whatever reason struggling or whatever, and you need a backup plan, well, what are the backup plans? To me, the things that people might bring up as a backup plan to fresh fruits and vegetables. So we're going to put them as the top, and fresh fruit being what you're going to eat mostly on this kind of lifestyle to get most of your calories. Well, the alternative to that would be dried fruit for a start. So dried fruit is available everywhere. It can be it's very small in size, so you can pack a lot of dried fruit. And this might be a good idea, dried fruit or freeze dried fruit, but it might be good for you if you are maybe going for a hike or going for like a camping expedition and you need to bring your own food with you. It might be a bit more difficult to carry a lot of fresh fruit. Um, so dried fruit might be a good option in that situation, or dehydrated. Sorry, not dehydrated, freeze dried. Freeze dried. So these are an option. So what are and that's the benefits to them. They are easy to carry. You get quite a lot of calories in a small amount. They are everywhere, so you can get them wherever. It's not freeze dried, but dried fruits all over the place. And there was one other thing I was going to say, that they are they store well. So you could buy a bunch of raisins or dates or whatever, and you can just store them for a long, long time. They won't go off for a long time. In fact, I'm not sure if they ever go off. It just seems like you can store them for a long, long time. Negatives to dried fruit. Well, you've taken all the water out of it. It's not a whole food anymore, or you're taking most of the water out of it. But for me, the biggest negative to dried fruit the is your teeth. I don't think it's good for your teeth, and I think that I've had teeth problems as a raw vegan, and I believe that dried fruit has played the biggest role in that. Has been dried, specifically dates, which have been I haven't eaten dates now in the last year, and I used to eat dates all the time. And I used to put dates in my mouth, sit them in my mouth, and suck on them for hours and stuff. That's not a good idea. Now I have put dates in blended in sauces and stuff like that. But even that I've not done that much of. So I've been on an experiment at least the last 6 months, 8 months, maybe even a year of no dried fruit. I've just been completely off it. And in that time I've not had one moment of feeling any teeth sensitivity or teeth issue or whatever. So I do feel it's made a bit of difference, but I'm going to go back to the dentist soon to work that out. The second backup plan, I'm going to say, would be nuts or seeds. It's kind of same thing to dried fruit. It's always available. You can store them for ages. They're all over the place. And you can get them in places that you might not be able to get fresh fruit. You can get them in an airport. You can usually get nuts. Now, I would only see them as if you're really struggling you're trying to not give in to a craving for something worse, then yeah, go ahead and eat nuts. But they're not really a good staple. They're very high in fat. They're not the best thing to eat in this lifestyle. So I would always try and limit nuts. They're not an ideal food for us, really. And that's so I don't see these as a great backup plan. I think the best backup plan is just juices and smoothies. So whether they're pasteurized or not, hopefully you can get fresh made, but if not, juices, smoothies and stuff like that. The advantages, they are once again widely available. They're not as easy to transport like dried fruit, so you probably can't take them away on a trip with you. And they basically have most of the same things like eating fruit has: high in carbohydrates, lots of nutrients and all the rest of it. Just often with juices they've had the fibre removed, with smoothies they've been blended up, and if they're in a bottle they've probably been pasteurised and processed. So they're not ideal, but I think they're quite close to ideal. So that would be my best choice. The last thing is people would say, what about cooking your food? I don't see cooked food as a good backup plan to raw food, because it tends to be the case that you can never quite keep cooked food to that minimum. It always kind of creeps up and ends up taking over your diet. So for me, cooked food's not a backup plan to a raw diet, but juices and smoothies are a better backup plan than dried fruit and nuts and seeds. Thank you.